bit of mix of everything as the cars go by. Turn up here to go to the school. This is Main Street, Oolagah. It's a historic town. Most people recognize it from Will Rogers. And there's the statue for Will Rogers. Museum, gift shop. This is the city offices. They used to be one of my clients when I was a grocery rep. The Bank of Oolagah. It's a quiet little town. Thought I'd go over here and give you a better view of the monument they put up. It's not brand new, but it's fairly new. The Cherokee Kid, a monument to Will Rogers. William Penn Adair Rogers was born November 4th, 1879. And the family ranched northeast of Oolagah. He died on August 15th, 1935 near Point Barrow, Alaska. And Sandra Van Zandt is the one that sculpted and was commissioned by the Oolagah Historical Society. Very good job. I like the detail. And the bank was has the date on it, 1906 to 1932. Okay, so we left the game. The girls won, but I wanted to come back and get a picture of this for you. This is a tribute, a little roadside park that runs by the train's track from previous, but it says 2 miles east of the birthplace of Will Rogers. Sorry. The Oklahoma cowboy who, by the way of Broadway, Hollywood, and public press, won his way to the hearts of American people. He used the land, water, and air as highways for spreading peace on earth and goodwill to all mankind. His philosophy of life, as self-expressed, I never saw a man I did not like, erected as a public service by the friends of Will Rogers. And then over here is a little replica of the house that's 2 miles, and they still get a lot of visitors. It has the original barn that's been added on to. But this is a little tribute to the park. And this says, Oolagah's first public tribute to Will Rogers, a miniature replica of his birthplace. The original model of the miniature house was built in 1928 by Sinky Taylor, 1890 to 1969, as a school project for the Tulsa State Fair. By 1930, he had constructed a permanent replica, which was dedicated as a special Will Rogers Day celebration on Saturday, October 25th, 1930. Since 1930, the White House has symbolized Oolagah's deep affection for her native son. After Will Rogers' death, the stone marker was erected by the citizens of Oolagah and dedicated to the memorial on October 18th, 1936. On May 7th, 1992, an arsonist destroyed the original little house. This replica built by the Chamber of Commerce by Jerry Garner in 1985 will continue to symbolize Oolagah's love for and pride in their famous son. And then a little monument. Will Rogers, November 4th, 1879, Oolagah, Oklahoma. August 15th, 1935, Point Barrow, Alaska, erected by citizens of Oolagah. And it is a replica. If you've never been to the original birthplace, it's really neat to go see it. Let's zoom out a little bit. It's just got the stained blacked out window so you can't see inside, so it's just the exterior. This is a historical marker for the Oklahoma State Historical. Birthplace of Will Rogers, November 4th, 1879, August 15th, 1935. Will Rogers, world-renowned writer, humorist, and actor, was born on a ranch east of Oolagah in Kewaskum, Indian Territory. He and Wiley Post died in an airplane crash at Point Barrow, Alaska. His birthplace was moved out of the path of Oolagah Lake to 2 miles north of here and is open to the public. And that road right there off of Highway 88 is where we'll go next. And this is the entryway to Will Rogers' Iron Ranch birthplace. There's Oolagah Lake, and you can see from the front. I'll get out.
There were politicians. After all, Rogers County was named for Clem Rogers, and he was the oldest member of the Oklahoma State Constitutional Convention. Or the preacher from the popular sisters. Then the rug would be rolled back for dancing or a taffy pull, and on long winter nights around the stove, there would be talk of old plantation life in the South, or stories of the Trail of Tears, the bitter removal of the Cherokees from Georgia to Oklahoma, or of the then recent Civil War, in which Clem Rogers fought and in which his first ranch was destroyed. Or perhaps Clem would tell of driving longhorns up from Texas when he was working to stock his ranch, as many as 10,000 head. To the left was the parlor, the more formal room. It had a fireplace, and when company came, Mary Rogers would play the piano for singing and dancing. The older girls, Sally and Maud, were married in the parlor. Upstairs, following the plan of downstairs, there were two large bedrooms, each with a fireplace. Also, over the front, there was an upstairs outside sleeping porch. On the ground floor, to the right, off the large dining room, there was another bedroom. It was used as a guest room, where there were often overflows. It was a happy house, but there was sadness too. Mary and Clem had lost 3 children in infancy. Their eldest son, Robert, died from typhoid at age 17. And then Mary herself passed away in 1890, worn out at age 50. Will Rogers said the house never seemed the same. Within a couple of years, Clem had remarried and moved to Claremore, where, among other things, he was one of the founders of the First National Bank of Claremore. Young Will was sent away to Temple Military Academy in Missouri. The house was rented. At one point, hay was stored in the barren room. When Clem died in 1911, Will Rogers was well on the way to becoming famous. He bought out his sister's share of the ranch, and in 1924 he put his nephew, Herb McSpadden, in charge of it. Herb and Madeline McSpadden raised their 3 sons in this house. They revived the ranch, and I used to stay here both when my father was alive and after his death in 1935. In the late 1950s, the Army Corps of Engineers finally got around to building the long-planned Oolagah Dam. Just before it closed, Herb McSpadden took me and my son, also Clem, on a farewell trip. We rode over the old ranch for a final look before the rising waters behind the dam would cover it up forever. And then the house was carefully moved, piece by piece, 3/4 of a mile to this present high hill overlooking beautiful Lake Oolagah. So please, enjoy, look around, ask questions, and think back to a time more than a century ago. Welcome to the house of my grandfather. Clem Rogers built it in 1875 after his return from the Civil War. My name is Will Rogers, and I hope you enjoy learning about this house and the ranch where my father grew up. Will Rogers was born November 4th, 1879. He was born in the front bedroom. That's the room to your right as you come into the house. His mother was Mary America Scrimcher Rogers, and he was their 8th and last child. His full name was William Penn Adair Rogers. He was named for Clem Rogers' commanding officer of the Civil War, Colonel William Penn Adair, but the family called him Little Willie. Clem and Mary were both part Cherokees. Their children were about 1/4. My father taught us to be proud of our Cherokee blood, and he was always proud that he came from Oklahoma.
And then this is the barn where they hold a lot of events. It's still a working farm. It's managed. But this is the Oolagah Lake, which the house was moved when they built the dam to preserve the house. And the recording plays to give the history You can go in. I won't do that today.
Younger set, friends of Will Rogers.
But they've kept a lot of the original
Then the rug would be rolled back for dancing
furniture and such.
and on long winter nights around the stove, there would be talk of old plantation life in the South, or stories of the Trail of Tears.
It's marked with the brand.
Of the Cherokees from Georgia to Oklahoma, or of the then recent Civil War in which Clem Rogers fought and in which his first ranch was destroyed. Or perhaps Clem would tell of driving longhorns up from Texas when he was working to stock his ranch, as many as 10,000 head. To the
Trans
left
behind
was
us.
the parlor, the more formal room. It had a fireplace, and when company came, Mary Rogers would play the piano for singing and dancing. The older girls, Sally and Maud, were married in the parlor. Upstairs, following the plan of downstairs, there were 2 large bedrooms, each with a fireplace. Also, over the front, there was an upstairs outside sleeping porch. On the ground floor, to the right, off the large dining room, there was another bedroom. It was used as a guest room.
There's another brand.
Overflows. It was a happy house, but there was sadness too. Mary and Clem had lost 3 children in infancy. Their eldest son, Robert, died from typhoid at age 17. And then Mary herself passed away in 1890, worn out at age 50. Will Rogers said the house never seemed the same. Within a couple of years, Clem had remarried and moved to Claremore,